Yeah, warm welcome, guys. As it's another Technical Tuesday. Very, very unfortunate last week where we had a Thunder Thursday, and we both couldn't be there. Work was extremely busy. Big apologies. So hopefully you guys did a good session for yourselves, so you all feel extremely fit today. No. Today, we will tell you what we're doing today, but before we go there, think about listening to the podcast by the Drew Experience, by the man on probably this side.
Me, it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cool, really good podcast with Darren, and there might be coming on another one with the two of us. So if you haven't got enough screen time from us, you can always watch it and listen in. But yeah, it's a big honor for us to been asked for the Drew Experience and his podcast, and it's some good chats about literally everything. Darren, do you wanna start off with the things we're doing today, or maybe add some other bits about anything else?
Yeah. First of all, I probably should start off with extending our best wishes to a few people who are a little bit ill at the moment. So she and Janine's husband had a heart attack at the weekend on Sunday whilst he was mountain biking with his son Luke. So he actually had it on the top of the mountain. So he is okay now, but we wish him a very speedy recovery, and we're very sorry, obviously, that it's all happened. She and Jeff Wybrow also had a little bit of an incident where he was a little bit ill. So he is also okay now. So we wish him the best. And also my very first instructor, Sensei Joe Borg, is in hospital also. So we send equal best wishes to all three of them, and we hope that they all recover speedily and obviously fully, because it's not a great time anyway with COVID, isolation, and winter. So it is a really ill time to basically being ill. So we wish them all the best, and I'm sure if any of you want to extend your courtesies as well, it would be greatly received from them all. Secondly, onto the lesson, we're going to be covering URAs today. We thought we would give you a little bit of help on how to go through the stages of performing URA. First of all, that's what I'm going to start off as a warm-up. We're going to use it in a variety of different stances because as many of you probably know, when you get to Showdown, you need to perform certain katas in URA, which is basically with a spin for the low grades who don't understand that. And and we're going to then start to add some technique to hopefully give you a bit of practice around these. Any questions, obviously use the chat. If you need to see our feet a little bit more, please ask us, because obviously the screen may not cover all the areas that you want. So try and be quite quick on that because we might have already started and miss it. Okay. Anything else, Wes? I think that's...
Well, especially for you, for when Darren does it, he's so big. So he obviously doesn't know about when he's not fully clean. But yeah,
it's true.
And there's one more shout out, because next Saturday, the Super Saturday, we have a terrific session with our Swedish star Jonas Rosen. He is probably the better version of Ivan Drago, aka Dolph Lundgren from Sweden, and he must break you. So it's going to be a good session, and we're going to try and add a super guest once a month in the Super Saturday sessions. Obviously, in the first lockdown, we had one every week, but we also have stuff to do instead of luring for people to come on the show. It's hopefully greatly appreciated, and have fun today. Enjoy.
Basically, we ran out of friends to keep asking, so
that's true. Yeah,
we had to limit.
People don't like us.
Okay, let's get going, guys. Remember, URAs are not easy. Doing the stance and the movement isn't easy, first of all, and then delivering an effective technique is a little bit harder as well. So do concentrate on the first part of this, on the warm up, where I'm gonna use hopefully breaking down the movements a little bit better, so you can become a little bit more efficient at the movements. Yeah. So let's go from there. I will put down towards my feet first, so you can see. Right, so what basically what we're going to do first of all is we're just going to work on coming around here. So it seems very, very simple, but it will make a big difference in your world, because what a lot of people when they do URA is they do this. Okay, so I'm starting off with a much smaller version, and all we're looking to do is cut through and spin. Okay, straight line, spin, and then I'm going to extend it into a Zenku Sadachi position, and then we're going to start breaking down the movements a little bit more. Okay, so let's start off with just that movement to start off with. No fancy breakdancing moves at the end of it, just the foot movements. Okay, so doesn't matter where you have your hands, keep them wherever, but make sure that you cut through on a straight line, not a big circle. Big circles means you're going to lose control, and me and Wesley are always talking about the balance of the body. We're trying to keep the balance of the body nice and straight, not too much swaying as we do this, because that contributes to poor position at the end. Okay, right, let's get started. Ready? Itch, through, twist. Knee. San. She, obviously use the space that you've got. Go. Rip. Ish. Itch. Get. Cheer. Okay, so it's nice and easy. So the theory behind that is that eventually when we do the spin, we want to be cutting as close to this supporting leg as possible. The more we swing around this way, the more this kind of stuff happens towards the end. Okay, so that's the reason why we started off with a nothing move, really, just to get you thinking about that narrow, efficient movement in there. Okay, so let's start off with going into Maigen and Brian. Maigen and Brian. Yoink! Okay. Sheer. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a longer version of what we just did. Okay, so we're going to come up here and then back out. Up, back. So we're going to come up, face away from the cameras, making sure that your feet are close together. I don't expect them to be here, because then you'll probably start losing balance the other way, but please don't come up shoulder width apart. When you're coming up, keep the bend on the leg going forward, in and up, fairly close together here, and then back into a full Zenku Sadachi. Okay, we all making sense on this at the moment? You can't see my face, but hopefully that's not the important bit right now. All makes sense. We can move on with this, and then we can start processing through the last bit of the stance. Okay, right, so left leg forward. What we're going to do is we're going to do 10 of these on the right, 10 of these on the left before we start moving forward from there. Okay, ready? H. And then back out. E. Back out. San. She. Go. Rock. Ish. H. Kif. Chew. Yeah, and on two. Let's change our legs. Okay, ready? Exactly the same thing. H. E. 3、4、5、6、7、Yeah, and so this time let's start from here and pretend that we've already done this movement. From here it should be really simple because it's exactly like a lot of the movements that we do, for example, when we do normal Taikyoku Sonichi. Okay, so we're going to start off from here, push back and rotate through. Remember, keeping that narrow line that we're looking for in longer term. We want to make sure that we're cutting through here and back, even when we're doing the spin. Okay, so we're going to start off a little bit apart, maybe like a narrow hegadachi. And from there, we're going to push out into Zenkusudachi and back up into a narrow hegadachi. Slight bend on the legs each time. All understand? Awesome. Yep, excellent. Ready? Let's just do 5 on each leg here. Ready? H, out, and back. E, 3, 4, go. Sure. And now with the left leg, exactly the same. H, E, 3, 4, go. Sure. Good, good. Okay. Faster is coming off. Sorry. Okay, so we've been through pretty much all the mechanics of how we move through. Okay, and the end result, I'll show you my feet in a minute, but the end result is to not have all of this going on. So if I keep here, we need to make sure that we keep a bend on this front leg as we transition through so that it's not gonna have too much room here. If we straighten the leg up, there's more chance that we're going to wobble around. And then when you come down to the stance, again, that extra momentum is there. Okay, so do please keep a bend on that front leg as you transition through. And as we said on all stances, the height shouldn't differ too much. Okay, now to the legs where we can go through the full leg movement itself. So from here, the important thing, especially in URA, is that the dimensions of the stance that we land into are the same as what a Zenkusudachi would normally be. 2 shoulders, half a foot in length, 60, 40 in weight, bend on the front leg, straighten back leg, yada, 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 shoulder width apart. Okay. Now, the important thing is obviously that when we push through here, we land here. Okay. Don't just come up and then think about going straight line and then losing our balance. Think of the Taikyoku here. Us, we push back through, shoulder width apart. And that's the end movement on the URA that we're trying to achieve. We come up, we push back, keep the bend on the leg, and this is where we're able to keep the shoulder width apart when we land. Straight leg, coming up here, means closed hips, not a long stance, and it won't be wide enough for you either, okay? So that all makes sense for us. Yes? Let's do it slowly. Let's build up slowly. We'll do 5 on the right, 5 on the left. Nothing too quick at this moment in time. I'll keep the count really slow. No hand techniques. Try and keep them fairly central, whatever you're doing, though. Not out wide here. On your belt, Furudachi, fighting stance is fine because it keeps your equilibrium and your balance fairly central. And that's what we're looking for. Bend on the leg, narrow circle, sweeping close to the supporting leg, push out, and make sure we take that stance shoulder width apart when we land. All good?
Yes.
Let's go on with this. Let's do 5 and 5, and then we can move on to Mr. Jensen. Okay? Right. Furudachi, Maiga number 5. Yoi! Okay. Shia! Good. Hands wherever you please. I'm going to keep them on my belt just to keep my balance nice and central. So each time I count, we're going to come through, back, and a nice smooth transition is what we're looking for. Okay? And then we're going to step all the way back to where we started from. Let's go. 5 on this leg first of all. Ready? Edge. And back. Heave. And back. Sun. And back. Let me know if I'm going too fast, by the way. She. With the count. And last one on this leg. Go.
Yep.
Good. And change legs. Give yourself some space. Bend on the leg. This will be our weaker leg now, so please don't start leaning and swinging wide. It's probably more important on this leg because you don't have the natural muscle strength in your leg, although most of the weight is going on your right leg. Okay, ready? Edge. Heave. Sun. She. Last one. Go. Shia. And Nare. Okay. It's not very hard, but if you want to get yourself a drink and take yourself a little break from it, it's probably going to be really mentally hard today for you to figure out where your body's going, your balance is going. Although the session won't be physically that hard, there's a lot to think about. Okay, and please make sure we are all concentrating on this because I see it messing up so many times, ourselves included. This way for me, this way for everybody else probably.
Yes. Right then. So yeah, get yourself a quick little drink if you feel for it. Obviously, this is your start in a lot of the URA Katas, but this is always also the start of doing a proper Ushiro or Ushiro Mawashi giri. So a lot of the spins we do in fighting really come back to the basic elements we are doing right now. So Darren just focused a little bit on Zenkutsudachi, and we still keep it that way because that's the easiest way. It's probably the hardest stance to do a proper ura in than either a kokotsudachi or a kibidachi. But if you can do it into your Senkutsudachi, then it will get easier when you go into kokotsudachi, kibidachi, nekwashidachi, and so on. So what we will do right now is we will focus on where the arms are, because obviously you need a lot of good balance in your feet and in your legs, but you can really help yourself by pointing your elbows and your arms into the right direction by using the head movements into the right direction. So this is what I will focus on for now. And then we're going back over to Darren for the next sequence. But please be careful on doing what we are focusing on. Yeah. So what I'm talking about right now is when we go into like Taikyoku Sonaichi into Ura, the first step is still the same. Then obviously, forget about the hands, all the way down there to really get into the right position. To help yourself, a lot of people will always use their arm and then go into the punch. But it's not the arm which is the driver, it's the right elbow in this particular stage, which will give you the right way where to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand into a furudachi. We're going to stand into a furudachi, and we're going to use our right elbow as a steering wheel. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the right position and really use the elbow in the right way we have to go. Yeah? So we're going to do one on the right, one on the left, one on the right, one on the left, and we're going to do 10. So this means 5 on the right, 5 on the left. We're going to do this alternate. Yeah? Right then. So let's start. Wait. We're going to be bringing the right into there. Leave your left over here. So we're going to go backwards, right senku tsudachi all the way there. H. And back. Mawate, other side. Knee, steering wheel. And if you think about steering and turning quickly, then your legs will be in a small position as well. And back. Right arm. Sun. Good. Shi. Go. Roko. Sish. Ash. Cool. Last one. Shoot.
Shia.
Good. And now ready. So we're going to do the same, but when you twist and turn, you make a oisuki. Yeah? Really think about twisting and standing in the right position before we punch. Yeah? Good, good, good. From yoidachi again. Yoidachi. We're going to use the right arm first. Yeah? Itch. And other side. Knee. Thumb. Shi. Go. Roku. Sish. Ash. Cool. Shia.
Shia.
And ready. Good. Right then. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off doing Taikyoku Sana Ich in Ura. And it's just about going to the left and then going to the right. Yeah? So it's about over here. 1. And the second count will be 2. Yeah? So we're going to integrate the things we did with Darren and the arms we use with me. Yeah? Good to go? No questions? No questions. Good, good. Let's start off going to the left. So the way we will always start with this high. We're going to do this 5 times. And then we're going to change sides and we're going to do this 5 times the other way. Yeah? There we go. Itch. Knee. Think about elbows and legs. Good. Now ready? 4 times to go. Itch. Knee. And come back. Itch. Knee. come back. 2 more to go. Edge, knee, and last one. Edge, knee, and now good. 5 times the other side, and we're going over back to Darren. Yeah? I'll stand the other way around. I do think you guys hear me properly, right? Yes, Joy. To the right. Edge. Knee. Edge. Knee. Edge. Knee. 2 more to go. Edge. Knee. Last one. Edge. Knee.
Shear.
And RA. All right. These are the basics. I'm going over to Darren for the next exercise.
So a good drink if you want one. And more now is to do with a break from your brain rattling around doing circles all the time, rather than physical hard work. So we're going to move into a different stance this time. We're going to use Kokosadachi. As Wesley said, Zenkusadachi is probably the hardest one because it's the longest stance, etc. But with Kokosadachi, it's a short stance, but the thing is you're leaning backwards, or your weight is mainly on the back leg. So we need to think about the transition over the front leg, whereas Zenkusadachi already has that weight on the front leg before we do the spin. Okay, and that obviously many low grades have problems when they get to Taikikusa-no-san because of the differentiation between leaning back, transitioning to a leaning forward stance. And what happens is they either do a forward leaning Kokosadachi, or they do a good Kokosadachi, and then when they go through to the Zenkusadachi, they do a backwards leaning movement. So now we're adding the spinning. We're not quite there yet, but in the kata you would do. But now you're adding the spinning, you need to think about those things as well as spinning around in a circle. We're only going to start off with the stance alone for now, okay? And then we'll move on to the other bits a little bit later, okay? So we need to think about, we're leaning backwards. We do have a bend on both of our legs. But then also what happens now is when we do land that front leg, it needs to be 2 fingers off the ground with the heel. We can't straight plant it into the ground and think, ooh, my weight will take care of the rest of this. We need to make sure that we got 2 fingers off the ground with that front leg, leaning on the back leg after spinning around, going forward, etc. So this is where the likes of Wesley are really controlled in this, because his balance is really good in a lot of the things that he does. Fighting, Ushiro geris, and all that kind of stuff that he likes to do. Not to say that any of us are not, but it does take a really good balance understanding to deliver all of them techniques one after the other. And it's the same that goes for URA. And this is what we're trying to give you today so that you can do all of them other things a lot easier. Okay, so we are going to start off with just being in Kokosadachi. And obviously we have 70 and 30 in our weight. Now, nothing different really happens in terms of the rotation. We still want to be able to deliver this closely through. The difference is that when we hit position here, now we're no longer looking at doing this. This is an over-exaggeration of a Zenkusadachi. We're looking at making sure that once we hit this position, we need to twist and transfer our weight on a much narrower pivot, which is good for our balance, but we need to make sure that we actually sit down on this and we don't end up here. Pivoting on a narrower spindle is easier, yes. Pivoting on a narrower spindle and then making sure we sit down on the back leg is where the difficulty comes. Okay?
All right. Can I please add something to this? Because
of course.
yeah, when you look at Darren, let me just remove my spotlight. One moment, I'll talk you through this. When you see Darren delivering this, you will see that his right elbow, when he comes back into the second position, so when he twists and turns, he has control of his full body by using his right elbow as well into the same position. So you have to go a little bit further over there, one, and now he's back into the right position. If you go forward too much, just as what Darren just said, then you have no control over your upper body, and then your stances are not going to be good enough. This is just what I wanted to add. It's something you all have to think about. Legs and upper body.
Yes. And that's where with that back arm, if we concentrate on this actually pulling back in position, you will concentrate automatically, or hopefully, should I say, on coming back to a more neutral position and your weight sitting back on that or going forward. It's a lot easier to maintain your balance. Okay, let's start off with just the stance. That's all I'm going to go through. Let's do 10 on one side, 10 on the other side. Okay, just the stance movement, and then we'll move back to Wesley, where he will either add, subtract, add in a jumping spinning kick, whichever he fancies doing. Okay, right, so Fukudachi, let's go forward into left leg Kukotsudachi. Okay, so Kukotsudachi. Yai! Kate! Shia! Okay, so we're in position. Again, you can have your hands wherever you feel. If you like to have this elbow back, as Wesley's pointed out, so that when we come around, we're concentrating here. Fantastic. If you feel confident and we can be in a neutral position, then even better. Because if you can do it from here, you're going to be able to do probably a lot more stuff. Okay, right. So let's go. Moving forward through the whole movement, just the stance. Ready? Itch. And let's go back. Yee. And but sit down on this stance. And back. Sun. Down. She. And back. Go. Grip the floor. Know when to stop. Go. Up. Ish. Ach. Kia. Shia.
Yeah.
Is that a question? Does the heel go down? Can you lift up my pants? It's a bit personal there, Bernardo, but sure. I'm assuming that you're talking about the front heel, aren't you? You're referring to the front heel. So, you're probably asking if this goes down on the ground when we rotate through here. I can't actually see Bernardo.
So let me add him to the gallery. Wait.
Okay, thank you.
So Bernardo, can you please let us know what you mean in your question? I'm asked to unmute you.
Yes, sorry about that, guys.
Sorry.
I couldn't see the transition. So yeah, the front leg where the front, where your heel is up, when you're making the transition, when does the heel touch the ground when you switch?
As you start to feel the weight go past that center line. So what normally happens is we twist, push, and then as we get to here, the heel goes down, we grip, and then we rotate through.
Can you do that? Can you do that again? I just want to see the front foot, the transition of the front foot.
Yeah.
That's where I'm getting confused.
I will mute you now and make Darren in the screen. Yeah.
So from here, what we're looking to do is it will spin through here, back, and then as the weight starts to shift, the heel will go down, we will control the movement through, and then we will twist on the ball of the foot. Much like with Zenkutsudachi, it's just that it starts on the floor originally, but it will come off the ground until you start to go past. Otherwise, what then tends to happen is people tend to do this. And the whole Michael Jackson spin comes around, all the little ballerinas. Okay, try to make sure that we are on the balls of your feet. Much like when you do Ushiro Mawashi or Ushiro Geri, we are balls of the feet for most of that journey. All done on a 180-degree straight line. Yes, so we start off pointing straight, we twist, and we point straight again. Does that make sense for everybody? Yes? Excellent. Okay. I think we did 10 on one side, didn't we?
Yeah. So it's now the other side.
Yeah.
Cool.
My long gi trousers. Okay. So we were left leg forward, transitioning into right leg. Now let's go with the right leg, transitioning with the left leg forward. Okay? Right. Right leg forward. Ready? Hold your hands how you please. Edge. Knee. Sun. She. Go. One position for me. Ish. Touch. Kid. And Nauri. Just to your point, James, about being 180 degrees, what we are doing right now is 180 degrees. In some katas and some areas, it may be greater or less than 180 degrees. So you need to bear in mind where your finish target is, to how much more or less you need to focus that elbow or your drive out to, okay? This way now for me because I switched around screens.
We're actually going there because in pin and each URA, you go into the last 4 movements, and now we're going past the 180 degree line. So this is gonna be even harder because it's gonna be some hard movements on your arms, and then also spinning around even further than 180 degrees. But yet again, if your base is right, if your leading stance is good, so your first Kukutsudachi in this time, this is not as hard as it looks. It all depends on having the right balance in your body, having the right stance, and just take your time. You don't all want to be as quick as Mr. Stringer, because to be fair, you just can't. Yeah. All right then. So what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna be standing over here. We're gonna make the first one into into your pin and sonage. First Ushiro Mawashi. Okay. From here, what we're gonna do? Let me go all the way there. You can see I'm on a straight line right now, going over there. One. What I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna go 45 degrees. And I'm going, to be fair, I'm going straight into the computer right now, and then I will use my hands. So this is what we're going to practice without the hands. We're going to do this 5 times without the hands, and then 5 times with the hands, and then obviously the other side as well. Please don't take your time, because you have to be in the right balance to go there, yeah? When you go into Kotsudachi, you can really use your Kakadachi. 2 weeks ago, we did this with Darren. You can really use this into getting into the right position. For Zen-Kotsudachi, it's a little bit harder. For Kokotsudachi, it's quite easy, to be fair. It's really going to help you in the right balance. Yeah? Ready? Wait. Kokotsudachi, Shito, Mawashi, okay. Yeah? H. Over here, going there, right leg behind, 45 degrees into the screen. And it's hard when you do this slowly. So we're going on the count. Ready? H. And back. 4 more to go. H. Ah, shit. I'm really sorry. We were doing this without hands. Really?
I did think that.
While we're at it, we're just going with it, yeah? Use the hands, come on. Be a man. Hey, do the right thing. There we go. And back. Number 3. H. Knee. Come back. Use your right arm as a leading into the next stance. Yeah? 4. Use the right hand right now. 8. Last one. Ish. Knee. And now ready. Good. So we're going to do this the other way around. Going to be right and then left. Yeah? Good to go. No questions. Good.
Are we all finding the balance okay in finishing off in that stance? Keep it iffy. Remember, the same principles apply. Keep the bend on the legs. Balance through the center line. Okay?
Ready? There we go. H. Knee. Now right. H. Knee. H. Knee. Two more to go. H. Knee. One. Last one. H. Knee. And now Ray. I'm gonna shoot over quick to Darren. I need to get my charger. I'll be right back, yeah?
Let's do the same thing. Cool. So now that once you start adding in technique, should I say, it's really, really important that you hit the stance first. This isn't like just moving through a normal transition stance. and then throw in the technique. You need to make sure that your position is right first before you do the technique. Please, 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 please do not start trying to throw the technique halfway through. Because what normally happens is we start to process the technique as we start to move. Yeah? We'll be here and we will process the technique as we are going through. Make sure now what happens, we come round, we hit the stance, then we do the technique. Come round, we hit the stance, then we do the technique. Yes, what we can do is we can position ourselves for where the technique will start and then progress through, but don't try to do too much at the same time. Most important, get the stance, then deliver a quality technique, not a mismatch and crap of both. Okay? All good? Right, excellent. Because that's when many people go wrong. It's difficult enough as it is without your arms flying around. As Wesley said, keep the arm in quite tight to the body, and then we'll go from there. Right. We're going to move on to Kibadachi now. 50-50 in weight distribution. Not used too often, to be fair, in URAs, but it is used. So we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on my rather than 45 degrees, because then that becomes a lot harder. Maybe Wesley wants to cover that next. He can't hear me, but maybe. So let's start off on Kibadachi. Now, the good thing is with Kibadachi is you're on a straight line. So the process through becomes a little bit easier because you don't have to worry about finishing shoulder width apart, swinging round, effectively a fraction over the 180 degrees, okay? So when we do a normal Kibadachi, we're going to pivot, lunge, pivot, okay? With an URA, it's just the reverse way around, and it makes it really easy in that element to actually do Kibadachi. It should almost be the easiest one for you to transition in because it is an exact replica in reverse of the way you move forward, okay? So in that sense, I expect this one to be the best. The only thing we need to realize is that make sure we're on a straight line and we don't start to kink off this way, but that could happen normally anyway, and making sure that we have this nice box shape in our legs, okay? Yonjugo is a little bit more difficult because, yeah, it just is. There's a little bit more work to it, but Mai is quite easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back with the left leg forward into Kibadachi to start off with, okay? So the right leg goes back. Kibadachi, Mai. Yai! Kate! Shia! Okay, so from there, the same thing happens. We need to elevate the heel to make sure that we are rotating through okay. Yeah? Can you see my feet? Let's just edge me down a little bit to give me some feet time. Okay. Okay, ready? So let's relax. Let's do 5 on one side, 5 on the other side, and then all being well, Wesley will be back and we can move on. Ready? Itch. And back. Just like URA, ready? Knee. And back. Sun. Back. Sheep. And a straight line, stringer. Go. And let's just shuffle back. Right leg forward, left leg forward to finish. Okay? Right. Ready? Try and get on a straight line and finish straight towards TV or that. Ready? Edge. And back. Knee. And back. Sun. back, she, back, last one, go, and across, narrow. Okay, Wesley is not back yet. What I'll do is I'll mumble on a little bit until he's back. No, all the time we're doing these URAs, just like we transition through normal stances, both feet should be in contact with the ground at all the time. Now, what I mean by that is that you will hear this movement. It may only be the balls of the feet that are in contact with the mat, and that's all you need. Because what that balls of the feet does, if we're in Zenkusudachi, we twist, it gives us our gauge of where we now can bite into the floor to twist, to do the stance. Same with Kukotsudachi. We bite into the floor, and that gives our end result of where we know we need to end up. Okay? Does that make sense? Everybody understand? All the time, concentrate, contact with the floor, not those little Michael Jackson spins where the one foot comes off the ground and we're thinking about doing maybe 5 or 6 twists. No, 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 no. We are fighters and we want to have contact with the floor near enough all the time. The only time our feet should come off the floor is when we're kicking or jumping. That's probably all we should be doing. All the other times should be on the floor. Maybe Mawashi Dachi has a little bit of a lean to, but yeah, that's it. Wes, back? Let's do some more Kibadachi before he comes back. I didn't want to do loads of them because we'll get dizzy. But let's do 5 more on each leg. Okay? Yeah, I'll leave Yonja go to another time, or Wesley. Okay, we're still in my. Let's go. The right leg back. Ready? Edge. And back. Knee. And back. Sun. Back. She. Back. And go. And shuffle back. Or the right leg forward, left leg spinning through. Ready? Edge. And back. Knee. Back. Sun. And back. She. Last one. Go. Yeah. I'm sure he must have gone to the UK to get this charger. Either that or he's just yeah. That's what I mean. Where is he gone? He's clearly not just gone to his house to get a charger. He better not have left me here. I'm gonna cry. Any questions on this before Wesley gets back? Now's a good time to post some questions. I don't want to do too much and then steal his thunder and take his work away from him, you see. See a couple of people type in. Does anybody need any help on any elements that we've done? The position of the arm to steer. Zandra, let me ask you to unmute so you can talk. You speak English,
Yes.
Yeah.
In the other exercises, we used the right or the left elbow to steer. How is it in this stance?
It will. Yeah. Okay. It will be almost the same, just on a narrower path. Hold on a second. Let me mute you and go back. So, let's get rid of Wes because he's not really doing much, is he? Okay, so it is a valid point. Now, when you're in Kibadachi anyway, and this is probably a fault that a lot of people have, they tend to leave their elbow quite lazy here. we're normally doing Junski, let's face it, when we're in this position. And what happens is this. So then your elbow isn't a natural steerer at that point because it's pointing off this way, and then you have no true north, as we can call it. What you need to make sure is that it's pinched back first of all, so that then when it comes through here, position is very, very similar. Oh, Wes is back. It's very, very similar to the other stances. The only difference is when we're here, we have the feeling that we are doing a full rotation. With Kibadachi, we need to first of all pay attention that our elbow isn't kinking out this way and we're in a poor stance, because that probably means that you're hunched over here, and then you'll get a lot of movement on the stance. Here, chest up, shoulders down, pinch this in, so that then when we turn, it's coming back in position, and then a neat rotation round and a good pinch in here at the end of the stance. Okay, yeah, does that help you, Sandra? Yes, excellent. Let's add my little pedigree chum back in. Oops, I've replaced this. Yeah, sorry, I'm this used to old habits. So Wesley is now back on this side for me, but probably this side for all of you. We worked on Kibadachi Mai, just so you know. We've only done the stances, no hand techniques, no nothing else. Okay, so wherever you are going with this next, over to you.
Yeah, well, that's cool then. We're going to a non-URA kata. Well, every kata you can do in URA, but this one, you will actually do the turn in URA during the normal kata. And it is, Kankudai, where we do URA twisting in Kibadachi. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna focus on for now. Yeah. So obviously, Darren has told you all the theory on how to twist and turn. So let's go over this for a little bit. After we were there, we're going all the way back, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, all the way back. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So we're gonna do the same over here, and we're gonna make sure we're gonna really twist in and use the movements we did last week and the week before for Kibadachi. Yeah? Long stances, so we're over here, long stances, and then go into the Fukiba. Yeah? Cool. Make sure your right leg is behind, left leg is in front for a Senshin Dachi. Left arm is over here, right arm is in there. Yeah? So what we're going to do now is we're going to twist and turn into the third movement, and then bring ourselves into Yonhon Nukite in Kibadachi. Yeah? That's what we're doing. Yeah? Cool. Ready? And there it is. Ish. And back. Knee. Sun. Shi. Angle. Yeah. And Mawate. So we're gonna do the same, but then the other way around. So we're gonna twist and turn into straight Kibadachi. Yeah? Right leg is in front, left leg is in the back. Ready? Ish. And back. Knee. Sun. Shi. Angle. Good. So we're going to combine this. We're going to stand in the line in Sanshindachi, twist Yonhonukite the other way, and then we go back. So we do both of the kibadachis in a movement. Ura. Yeah? Cool. No questions? Sweet. So we're going to be standing over here. It's going to be 1, 2, and now I'm just going to go back 1 and 2. Yeah? So I really want to make sure we make full range of motion, and also people think about twisting the ankles and the feet. So when we're here, go all the way over there. 1, 2, 1, 2, and now we're going back all the way over there. 2, 1, 2. Push. Good. Also, 5 of these bad boys. Yeah? Also. Ready? Danshindachi, left leg in front. And there we go. Ready? 1, 2, and we're twisting back right now. Knee. 1, 2. And good. 4 more to go. We know the drill right now. Yeah? Hitch. Come back. Sun. Good. Last 2 people. And good. So, last one. Movement. Go to the left and go to the right in 1 count. Ready? Hajime. And now ready. Good. Right then. Quick little drink before we go over to Mr. Stringer again.
Not doing the other side.
We did. Yeah.
Have to go. Okay, no worries. Thank you. Right. So we've got a little bit of time left. So let's see if we can transition between them 3 stances. Okay, that's where we're going to go now. So I'm going to start off in Zen. We're going to go through to Kokotsu, and then we're going to go through to Kiba. Okay, so hopefully there's not too much space that you need. A little bit over two Zenku Sadachis really, but not too much. Now, obviously we need to still concentrate on the spin. Now we need to think about that we're going from shoulder width apart to in line with the back foot to in line with both feet. We're going to do Kibadachi Mai on the last one at the moment. Okay, so we have a forward leaning stance into a backwards leaning stance into a neutral 50-50 stance. So there's quite a lot to think about there. There's quite a lot to think about in those trends. Not only the spin. Remember, we're no hand techniques for now, just the stances, and we just want to make sure that we hit each stance with a effective position. Okay, so let me start us off. So we're going to be in Zen Kusadachi. Okay, we're going to start off, roll through Zen, come through Kokotsu, come through, bit of a narrow Kiba. Okay, but we are going in this straight line. Now, I appreciate that It's not an exact straight line because I'm going at an angle to my screen and my dojo anyway. But what you don't want to be doing is coming through here, coming through further, and then we finish completely off. Because in Taikikusa, Ichi, San, and many, many other katas, you're going to have 3 techniques in a straight line. Now, we need to deliver them like we would normally on a straight line. This becomes difficult because we're spinning round for one, and now we're spinning round into different width stances. But ultimately, we should be going on that straight line. Let's take it nice and easy. Let's go 3 up, then we'll change legs. 3 up, change legs, 3 up. 1 count, 1 move at the moment. Nothing too wild. Please, please concentrate. Make sure we focus on position. Bend on the legs all the time. Good transition between the stances. Remember, making sure we are keeping in contact with the mat all the time to make sure that we know where our control and where our endpoints are going to be. Hands are where you want them, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to keep them here, 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 not really fast. It's up to you, however you feel comfortable going through this. Okay, so let's get started. Maigen and Mariah. Yay! Right leg going back. Come on, okay. Watching my distance here. In position. Okay, you can start off with shorter stances if you've not got the space, but do remember the dimensions on the stances need to be correct when you do it properly. Okay, right, so hands wherever you want them right now. Okay, ready? Zenku Sudachi first. H. Kokotsudachi next. Knee. And Kibadachi Mai. San. Shia. Okay, and all the way back to the start. We had the left leg in front first. So now we have the right leg to start off in front first. Okay, squeeze these all in. Ready? H. Knee. San. Shia. Good. Back to the start. Left leg forwards, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if I can go this way. Edge. Knee. San. Shia. And back. Right leg forward this time. Let me know if I'm going too fast. I know I can tend to count a little bit quick at times, but hopefully not today. Edge. Knee. San. Here. And let's do one more on each leg. Right leg forward to start off with. See, I'm trying to work out the best position in my dojo to get the maximum length. Okay, ready? Edge. Knee. San. Shia. And back. Last one. Right leg forward. Edge. Knee. San. Shia. And now ready. Good. Doesn't look too bad. I can't see many of your legs, but at least you're spinning around okay. Remember, making sure you keep the weight going over that front leg, whichever it is. We've mentioned it many, many times when we do the back kicks, etc. Your weight needs to go forward, contact with the mat, keep a nice position as we go through. And over to Mr. Jensen, if he so pleases.
Yes. Good. Right then. So we're gonna, the last thing I will do, shall I go for techniques in the movements, or shall we go for pin and knee?
think maybe go. I personally think pin and knee, but we can ask the crowds. Because in pin and where Wesley's talking about, I believe, where Wesley's talking about in pin and knee is we have a really long, difficult turn after we do the first junski.
Yeah.
So it's quite difficult, and we weren't sure if we'd be able to get there today. But
let's just go there.
Yeah, maybe let's go there.
Yeah, in pin and knee. So I think this is for Sandan, isn't it? Yeah, it is. In IFK. For Sandan, you have to perform pin and knee in URA as well, yeah? All of the URA katas we do before pin and knee, you will always start into a normal position and then do an URA. And in pin and knee, you will start URA position and then do normal. So what happens there, and when you go there, so we stand over here into your position. Normally you go 1, but now you go 1, 2, and twist 1, 2, and now this is even harder because we are in Kibadachi position and we have to go all the way 1, twist into Kokotsudachi before we go into there. So this is what we will focus on. Yeah?
Love it.
Yeah. So, yeah. Very hard. But when you ever want to get the 3 stripes, you have to make sure you at least get there for some bits. Yeah? Cool. So we're going to start off into Yoidachi and then bring your arms into the starting position. So you bring your arms into starting position and then twist, stay with your foot on the floor, please.
Yes, James, it is third dan.
Third dan, yeah. So what we're going to think about is when we twist, our left foot still touches the floor every time. When we are over here, our right foot touches the floor every time. Yeah? So this is where we go. Ready? Pin and knee URA. Yeah? There we go. Itch. And strike out. And come back. Just a twist. What a lot of people will try to do right now, because it's a long twist, we go up, 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 up. It's not a ballet. Pirouettes. It's not what it is, yeah? Be over here, on the floor, and in position, yeah? Are we ready? Left leg will touch the floor, okay? Good. Good. There we go. 4 more to go. Itch. And back. Good. Knee. Come back. Sun. And the last one. She. So we're going on to the next section. Over here, what we try and do, really long rotation. So I think everybody can see me. Over here, bring the arms back and go over there, over there. Os. From Kibadachi all the way into Kokotsudachi. Yeah? Good. This is where we're going right now. This is easier when you're not on mats, to be fair.
Yeah, actually, it's true.
Ready? Ish. And good. Knee. Sun. Shi. Last one, people. Go. And now ready. Good. Very hard movement. What we're gonna do, we have some time. So we're just gonna do the full sequence from the start up to over there into pin and knee. Yeah? In your right. Ready? Good. Yoidashijai. Pin and knee, ura. There we go. H. Knee. All right. Sun. Shi. And now red. Two more to go. Good. Ready? We are open. H. Knee. Sun. Shi. And now red. All right then, guys. Last one. The last one. Us. We are open. Ish. Knee. Sun. Shi. And now ready. Push. Good. As we can see, a very, very difficult twist and turn.
Yes.
Same for me and for Darren. It's not the easiest thing to do.
And these particular ones, they take a lot of practice. You know, me and Wesley probably not done this for God knows, a long while now. But if you know, and I'm not saying we're perfect, because if you saw me, it definitely wasn't. So, but if you have a good understanding of your weight, your balance, and delivery of stances and techniques, and obviously able to do the Ushiro Mawashis reasonably well, this is going to really put you in good stead for when you get to this level. Because remember, at this level, they're expecting you to do Toby Ushiro Mawashis, Toby Ushiro geris, Toby Mawashis, Ushiro Agakakato geri, and therefore naturally they're expecting you to be able to deliver uras at a reasonable level. And technically they could probably ask you to do any kata in ura, but in the IFK we only stipulate up to pinance on a knee in ura. But you can do any kata. Pick the most difficult one you want. It's all up to you. But if you have a good understanding, then even when you are out of practice, like we both are, you can still deliver a semi-reasonable version of this. Okay. Anything else, Sensei Wesley, to add to that?
I think we tied the ura, and we focused on it a little bit. And even if you know the steps, and even if you know what to do, what to focus on, it's still very, very hard, because you have to really control your body, and not always you got the right posture for doing this. From Kiba, you use the arms to gain power. Yes, this is what, because of the twisting, you can really bring your body into a right position to do Yunsuki or Yonhon Nukite or whatever. But you have to really be controlled in your arms as well, because you can't really sweep them out, because this means you're gonna fall over. Hopefully this answers your question, Frederick. Good.
A real good focus on where you're hitting. You know, I know we go in all of your low grades, but if you're doing, let's use Chuden no Chuke. If you're doing Chuden no Chuke like this at a low grade, rather than a neat focus finish here, when you get to the higher grade and in Ura, this becomes so much more difficult. And this is why it's so important that you get this nice focus on the finish of techniques, because as Wesley's saying there, when you come around, you want that focus point to be able to hit. You want to be able to spin. There's my focus point, hit. Okay, so it's very important when you're doing these things to make sure all the time there is a clear-cut finish on all of your techniques.
Yeah. One thing I'd like to add is when you do this properly, you can really transform this, as I said before, into Ushiro Giri or Ushiro Mawashi Giri. And one thing goes, which a lot of people make mistakes in, is when they perform Ushiro Mawashi Giri, they pick up their leg way too quickly. So all of the power is gone, or either they hit with the side of the foot. So the bad performance is thinking about this. So this means there is no control of the body whatsoever. So when you do this in a good way, you have to think about the elbow. You have to think about the steps we did with Darren, and then you can perform the right kick in the right way. So the URA Katas and the twisting and turning is really going to help you performing Ushiro Giri, Ushiro Mawashi Giri, whirlwind thunder kicks whatsoever. So please think about this when you try and teach this to your students. If you go into Ushiro Giri, Ushiro Mawashi Giri, use these URA Katas to really teach them well, because injuries are pretty hard when you do them.
And much like when you do the URA and the Ushiro Mawashis, as Wesley's saying, it's not just the focus on the start of the kick, but the end of the kick. You want to, as the first version that Wesley did, the Ushiro Mawashi, he was swinging all the way around here, and he had no focus on where he's landing after he does that kick. That's a very big point. I've seen many people try the kick, swing all the way out here, and the person just steps back, waits for them to land, and just hits them with a gyaku ski, and they go down, because they have no focal point or end to that technique to position themselves into a great position to continue. And this is the important bit, to continue to do something after that. All them katas, they have techniques that come after that. It's not just one spin and then you're done. You have a spin, and then you have another spin, spin. Even with Taikikuchi on the edge, okay, there's 20 movements, but not all of them are spins. But you've got about 12 or 14 techniques that will spin continually, one after the other. When you're fighting, when Wesley's doing an Ushiro Mawashi, he's hoping that he's going to knock the person out. Of course he is. But he's thinking, worst case, I don't want to be caught in a bad position and smashed up after I do that. So I make sure my focus is there. I've done the kick, I delivered down, and I'm in my good fighting stance after that. And that's very important. I cannot stress that enough, because one technique is not going to be good enough for you to get through that kata. You've got another 20. You really do. And any questions on what we did today? Hopefully it was a big help, because we was talking about it earlier on today, and then I was like, well, why don't we do URAs? Because we don't really concentrate on this, and as we've said loads and loads, it does help out with your Ushiros as well. So hopefully there's a few Nidans maybe thinking about Sandan in the future, in the IFK at least, that today has really helped you get an understanding of how you transform between one stance and the other, and how you deliver the movement itself. Hopefully.
If there are no questions left for today, we will call it a night, because today has been a not very hard session, but a very mentally hard session to really focus on stuff like this. So thanks a lot for your energy and your time again and again and again and again, like always. Don't forget, no Thunder Thursday, but there is a Super Saturday with superstar Jonas Rosen. If you don't know the guy, look him up. Very strong guy. Well, we can't call him a boy anymore. He's a man, a proper masculine man. He's one of these northern gods in the way he fights. So no, he's a very, very good fighter, a very good friend of us, a very, very nice guy as well, and especially someone who my Darren and myself, we were kind of washed up, and he's still a young gun. So I'm washed up.
Well, I mean, we're washed up. I've been left out and hanging to dry. I remember Jonas when he was just a kid. I mean, that shows how old I am now. But you know, he was just a normal, regular kid that's trained really hard to develop himself into where he is today. European champion. He's getting on the podium very, very regular, and he's a super strong boy as well. You know, boy is the wrong word, but man, he's a super strong man. Jonas Rosin is Jonas, and then Rosin SIN. Thank you, Wesley. Right there. Yeah. So check him out. He's a big powerhouse now. You know, he's I think he's a middleweight still, but he's very good.
He's a middleweight, but I reckon he hits like a train. I can remember sparring with him a few times in Spain, and then he was just a young boy. Sorry, you had some internet issues, I think, Darren.
I did, yeah. It's because my phone's on the other side charging. I'm back now.
But yeah, a good session today, and this will be a good session on Saturday. So guys, please be there. And remember that if you would like to share the session with anyone, just let them send us an email on krt.tv2020@gmail.com so we can share it throughout. Yeah?
More the merrier.
Now unmute ourselves, and thanks a lot again.
Super stuff today. Well done, as usual.
Boys, thank you. I needed that. That's what I'm working on next for my brown. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries.
See you Saturday.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Nice Saturday.
Yeah. Take
Good
care.
day.
Guys, that's great. Nice one. See you soon.
Cheers, Christopher. Thanks.
See you Saturday.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you
Get to
very
look at a
much.
hunk.
See ya. Yes. Cheers.
Then.
Yeah, I can just confirm that Senpai Jonas hits like a train.
Yeah, he's a strong boy.
I've been training with him quite a lot.
Yeah.
In Sweden. Yeah, and it's for some reason